Hello and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk with me, Vineet, on Lufra's very own Facebook page. And this is, as you all know, a hobby show where we get different collectors, different people, something who take the time out and do something a little more extraordinary with their lives, how they enrich their lives, and people who have sort of taken their hobby and made it as a career option. Now that is very interesting because जब हम छोटे होते हैं and we're always playing and we're collecting stuff, whether it's cars, toys, or whatever. And then if we're able to go ahead and make it into our career, I think we'll be playing for the rest of our life. And that's exactly what this show is about. हम यहाँ पास्ट एपिसोड्स में भी कई ऐसे guests लेके आए हैं जो have very interesting lifestyles and how they've taken their hobby and made it their career. Well, I hope it's been inspiring for you so far. But today also we have another such inspirational guest. He goes by the name Smoke. Now he does a lot of things on the internet and a couple of other things, but very interesting character. Let's just get him on.
Hey
There he
Vineet,
is.
how are you, man?
Hi, Smoked Ship.
Thank
You know, it's
you,
a
thank you for that amazing introduction, by the way.
भाई क्या करे आपका persona ही ऐसा है
Acha.
when we met and it was a chance meeting and you're a very talented person and I said कि यार
Thank you.
when I found out कि भाई ये तो पुरानी बीमारी है और इसको आपने कैसे अपनी आज की जिंदगी को enrich करने में you've made it like a positive thing, which is fantastic, and that is something that needs to be shared with our viewers. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where is this ship smoking? Why is this ship smoking? And how is the ship smoking?
So I guess this basically my internet alias is Smokedship or call sign, whatever. I just started off. I'm a bit of a gamer, so I have a past in that. So we got call signs in gaming on various platforms like on the Xbox and PlayStation. So when I started off on that, it's a very uh, weird bland history to this name. What happened was that you needed to select a call sign, and I just asked Xbox and Microsoft to generate a random name, and the name
Right.
came up as Smoke Ship. So I was like, "Wow, man, it has a nice ring to it. I don't know what it is, but it just had a nice ring to it. It had a nice feeling to it. I went with it, rolled with it, and after that, one thing led to another. Even my portfolios and everything, I started branding them as this. I went by I started, using this alias on the internet all over the place for a more unification, a unified branding, and that's it. Here we are.
So your name is a
uh,
chance
my
of
yes,
alias.
it is a chance. Yes, it's absolute a chance. My real name is Jayant Mal. I think we know you know me by that. That's how we first met at Comic Con. That was a amazing meeting. We'll definitely get to that part as well sometime in the conversation today. And that's it.
Where are you from, Giant? I know, but what about the rest of the viewers? Where is your den? This very inviting looking den. I'm just going to remove myself and then
Thank you. So I'm located in Chandigarh. It's North India, pretty close to you, Vineet. And basically, that's my location. And I'm a Fauji kid, so we basically bounce around a lot of places in India. I mean, from the north to central India, Maharashtra, and stuff like that. And then came back here. This is like our focal center HQ. We used to come here for Christmas every time during throughout my lifetime, and it just happened to be this center of our life, the city. It's where my grandparents are, where they settled, and hence, in the end of it all, we came here and settled down, and it's a nice place, a beautiful city. So this, what you see around me, is my studio. It's my den, my studio, my little place of peace, or whatever you want to call it. And that's it. It's where I like to live, whatever my hobbies are, and within whatever uh, you know constraints or anything that I can do something and have an environment which inspires me. That's what I try to create. So that's the result is this studio which is basically hacked together with duct tape and nails and all kinds of stuff, and probably holding itself together with sheer willpower.
No, that's absolutely fantastic, man. But why does it look so special? Okay, so we know that your name came from being a gamer, so you were always a hardcore gamer. I think that is one of your hobbies. But
Yes.
this thing that you have all around you, this professional looking setup there, are you into what is it that you do now? So we know that you're inspired from games as a kid. What did you do in college? What do you do now? How has that your passion for games inspired your present situation and the way you are?
Yeah, I understand this video looks a bit. So basically, what you see there is those are some design books up there on the shelf. Below that is Western comics like Marvel and DC. Below that is a bit some European comics, and this side back here you see a lot of Japanese anime, manga, some otaku stuff, and again some design related stuff on top. A bit of Hot Wheels down there, and the Hot Wheels are mostly just scattered around the studio. So what I do is I'm a digital artist and concept designer. It's not a very popular or very common profession here in our country, but it's basically our I've always loved drawing. I've always loved design. I've never been too much into the whole modern art sort of aspect or the very artsy, folk out there. But I've been inspired by science, and I've always loved to draw. And this one again, it's a long story. What all I did through college and all, I this is sort of a result of that. So concept design is basically a visualization of an ideal. uh, it can go from vehicles to environments, world building, to characters. Vehicles can be aircrafts, wheeled hovercrafts, naval vessels, etc., military vehicles, anything like that. Environments can be from buildings, fiction, and sci-fi and regular. And
Cool. So
this, yeah.
show us some of the artwork of this stuff that you're talking about. I mean, there's all this talk and everything. Yeah, yeah, big talk and everything. फोटो है आपके पास कुछ जो
हाँ
इतनी
जी,
बड़ी बड़ी
definitely.
बातें आप
Def-
कर रहे हैं ना, थोड़ा सा वो भी देख लें, तो
just
थोड़ा सा जब आप एक्सप्लेन करेंगे थोड़ा सा रजिस्टर होने का, pictures help,
yeah, yeah.
dude. you know
I'll just do that. I'll just help. I think I'll just share screen from here. Application window. Just a second. Just please let me know when you can see my screen. Hello.
There you go. Can you see
Yeah.
it? It's up.
Okay. So this is my portfolio. It is what it is. It's basically divided into environment, characters. We just go through all. I'll just show you a little snapshot of basically what it is I do. So, for example, in terms of world building, we can just go through a couple of visuals like this. For example,
Wow.
sci-fi shots, scene
No,
shots,
no.
key
Okay.
art.
So wait. How do you make all this stuff? I mean, is this like a illustration, like a drawing? Is it 3D? Is it unravel this
So,
mystery?
so this is basically what we call digital art, and digital art is the tool which we use for concept design. So digital art is not just as the name describes; it's drawing or illustration done digitally. I use something known as a Wacom tablet. It's a very common tool with
So
for
you draw
people in
all
this
this
profession.
stuff in a nutshell.
Yes,
1 second.
yes, I
You
draw
draw
all this
this.
stuff.
You draw this by hand.
I draw this by hand with this is like a Wacom stylus, and down here, I'm not sure it's in the camera, is like a little tablet on which you draw, and it basically registers in the computer, and it's all done on Photoshop. So, as many of us normally think of Photoshop as this photo manipulating software, but it's in our profession, it's used a lot for drawing as a primary tool for drawing as well. So that's what this is. It's basically drawing on the computer.
You draw this on the computer with a stylus.
Yes, sir.
And
It's
how long does it take you to draw stuff like this?
uh,
What do you eat
wh-
for breakfast?
I eat Hot Wheels for breakfast. Breakfast of
Oh my
champions.
god. Oh my god. Yeah, that's
uh,
another story that we'll come to once we unravel this particular mystery. How do you
uh,
how do you get it to look so lifelike? How do you get it to look the lighting
that
to be right? How do you how?
So that is I mean, a result of a lot of years of struggle. I mean, the training for this now in our country is there. Earlier, it wasn't so much. There were a lot of these animation studios which were, basically didn't teach you much. And I remember taking my sketchbook along to the one of these animation studios, and the guy was the art instructor there. And I was trying to ask him some questions. He ended up asking me questions. कि आपने ये rendering कैसे किया है shading क्या? I was like, my God, man, I'm supposed to be depending on these people. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. My drawings weren't anything spectacular back then. So this basically
Mm,
came with years of being trying to, I mean, being self-taught, seeing quite a bit of instructional videos, and just, I mean,
so YouTube played an
hitting.
important part in
Yes,
being your
yes,
educator.
absolutely, absolutely, 100%. It's the amount of stuff that we have free these days. It's remarkable, of people who are willing to help out by just putting out instructional videos and stuff like that. So all of this was, I mean, the lighting and everything all comes with practice. As you can see throughout, what we've been seeing now is environment concept art. So that can be interiors like a garage here. It can be
Right.
like large, aerial shots or establishing shots, mood shots,
Wow.
film shots, like something like this, where you're just seeing values, not no color, anything is just light. And again, science fiction interior vehicle shots. So this is all what you see as environment concept art and world building. So after that, we will go through a couple of others. Again, this is concept art. This was done with government of Singapore. They were trying to expand beyond their gardens by the way. So
Wow.
these were some ideas of them 50 years down the line. No one knew about COVID-19 back then, so I guess that future trajectory is going to change a bit.
Wow.
But
So you dream all this stuff up in your head. I'm going to make buildings that look like this. I'm going to take this thing and wrap it around and no,
yes,
this is
I
this is
it is in my head. It's I think a result of an overactive imagination which I've had as since I was a little kid. Gaming, toys, and all were my interest in them was all, I think, because of this. Whereas diecast or hobbyist stuff, and even gaming itself, all this came from this. This was a result of little doodles which I would keep doing on the corners of my maths notebooks and chemistry notebooks throughout
wow.
classes. So that's what it is. I mean, it's just you get those ideas in your head, and then it's about trying to execute them and bring them out into reality as much as you can. I mean, even if it's behind a screen. So again, this is just
Phen-
to sorry. So we come to
Phenomenal.
vehicles. A lot of
Wow.
some stuff which I think we have in common. Again, this is cars have always been my first love. My first word, literally, I'm not exaggerating, but my first word was car as a kid.
Wow.
My mom
Wow.
still tells me that. I don't know why it happened. Maybe my dad was also, he was a big car guy back in
Right.
the day.
Right.
But the first word that came out of my mouth was car. And that's when, like, since being a toddler, I was like into Hot Wheels and all that. Obviously, back then I
So
didn't know.
right.
Yeah.
You still collect Hot Wheels? Back then you collected Hot Wheels and that influenced your designing crazy cars like this. Oh my God.
Yes, I mean, Hot Wheels. It's a up and down, graph of my whole relationship with Hot Wheels and cars altogether.
Right.
So it
Right.
started off with me really loving Hot Wheels and cars both since I was probably a toddler, and then 3 year old, 4 year old, 5 year old, and beyond. And after that, it's sort of just ebbed away. And by the time I reached probably class 4, class 5 and beyond, it just there were so many other hobbies that just came in, and this either it was the maybe the not the availability, or maybe it was this growing up that changed my hobbies here and there, and this hobby just sort of took the back seat.
Right.
Cars, that was including cars, and what brought the passion for cars back, of proper the love of cars that I used to have, was when the Top Gear and car magazines started coming to India. I
Right.
still remember one of the first issues was of a Range Rover, and I think I can't remember what the car one was, but I remember seeing these two covers lying there, and with one you got a pine scented, freshener for the car, and the other you got a mouse pad
Nice.
with their
Wow.
first issues. And I picked these up, and it's a testament to how beautifully Top Gear was written, and the photography and the graphics were done back then. That just opening it, leafing through it, thumbing through that magazine, sitting in that little, mom was busy buying groceries and this was on a magazine rack. It just
Right.
brought those emotions of since when I was, a 4-year old and 5-year old, and I had this obsession with these four-wheeled machines. It just brought all of it back like a flood. And I was like,
Yeah,
wow,
but
I used
that's
to love
not.
these.
Yeah, that's not a four-wheel machine. That's
No, it's a
a
four-legged one.
so
So my
mutants.
so
My God.
basically my imagination stretches beyond just the regular uh, wheeled vehicles. It's basically towards mechs,
You're
robots, and
for sure. You're trying to reinvent the wheel, but that
trying
that
to chuck it out
that
actually.
वही कह रहा हूँ ना, you're reinventing the wheel, and where wheels are supposed to be, you're giving them legs and saying, no, this will go faster, boss. भाई रेस लगा के ये तो दिखाना पड़ेगा तेरे को, since you've come this far.
It may not go faster, but it might go anywhere definitely.
दौड़ा है इसको, but mad. This is mad. Do you take aerodynamics into consideration when you're designing stuff like this?
Well, I make it look
Yeah.
as if I've seriously taken aerodynamics into consideration, but
तो उसका
obviously I won't hold a candle to an actual engineer.
yeah, for sure. But I mean, these look like wind cheating machines and creations and
Yes, so
designs that are there. Yeah.
that is actually part of the profession. So I have a background in science. My education
Right.
is in biotechnology, and then further out in multimedia and animation.
For
So
sure.
science is something I loved. Maths is something I didn't. I
Right.
loved biology. I loved mechanical, vehicles and stuff like that. And
Sure.
back then, you can imagine back in the day in our society where, doctor banega, engineer banega, MBA karega, and there's literally nothing else. It was a very confusing, this dilemma of I
Right.
didn't want to be a doctor. I just never wanted to be a doctor. And to be an engineer, you needed mathematics. I wasn't so inclined towards it. I loved science and I was good at it. So one thing led to another. I took on biotech. I loved the subject. During that time, my drawing skills started to get better, and I
Right.
said, that's when I started making this comparison that, okay, if I put my heart and soul into this, and I put my heart and soul into this, which one is going to take me further? Uh,
Right.
on the same path. Whether I don't give a damn who thinks what society thinks. Or obviously, biotech would be, अरे बच्चा biotech कर रहा है versus बच्चा animation वो उसमें जा रहा है and all that. So I was like, I don't care. At the end of the day, it depends where I'm going to be, what I'm going to wake up every morning and be happy to do for free,
That's most
yet be paid
important.
for it. You
Yeah.
know, that is what I thought of, and that is an argument I made. And after the day my biotech graduation, my biotech 3 years of my college finished, I just ran down, checked out which places I can go study, maybe Photoshop and 3D and stuff like that, and just get my foot in the door somewhere and start learning this stuff.
Sure.
And I ended up going to a it was a government institute called CDAC. It's near our city as well.
Right.
So I ended up going there for it was a little more than a year course, more of a tool operation course. It was they didn't
Sure.
really
Most of these are,
teach
yeah,
you.
they don't teach you
Yeah,
design. They just tell you
no,
if you press
ये
this, then
button
this
ये करेगा,
happens.
ये button ये
Yeah.
करेगा. And this I still remember our 3D guy. He was I was obsessed with learning 3D for some reason, seeing all these animations and all. So
Yeah.
he was like, ये अच्छा ये ना बच्चे ये plane है, इस प्ले अब इसके साथ आप ट्रेन बना लो, आप माउंटेन बना लो, आप स्काई बॉक्स बना लो। अच्छा ये जी स्फीयर है, इसको आप क्यूब क्यूब पर डालो और आपका कैरेक्टर बन गया।
क्या
दैट वाज हिज,
बात है।
that was the, you know, I think it was Maya that was being taught that way, and I was like, wow man, I was being inspired by the animatrix on one side and saying मैं यहाँ से यहाँ कैसे पहुंचूंगा, this is a pretty big bridge man,
Big
between
bridge
the
to
between the cylinder and the ball
yeah.
and the animatrix. So all that, I was also wanting to do comic artwork, inking and stuff like that. I started just learning on my own, and
Right.
hitting my head against a wall, experimenting and just trying new stuff. And it just years one after the other. None of us, everyone thinks it's this big bang going to take place. Maybe for some people it does, and you have that filmy story of you made it and stuff.
सब
Sometimes it's
झूठ
just
है.
this, yeah. So far, yes, it's just this gradual path, of how you look back, and then it starts to make sense
For
that
sure. I mean, you
you
just have to keep at it, and like you rightly said, the more you invest of yourself in it, the more you give to it, the more it's going to give back. And I don't know what. Again, you haven't told us what you eat for breakfast except Hot Wheels. So we'll come to Hot Wheels. Okay, maybe they're the reason why you are the way you are. As a child, you were hit on your head by a few of them at that point in time. Because if you remember back then and all, they used to be metal base, metal body, black wall
Yes.
tires, and they were really
Yeah.
heavy, not like the cheap
No.
lighter, Hot
Plasticky ones
Wheels.
now.
Yeah, right. So I think दो तीन तो पड़े होंगे सर पे. So now let's talk about those. Do you
Definitely.
still
Sure.
have those Hot Wheels with you? Because you said Hot Wheels were an inspirational factor or a tool in your career profession and where you are. So किधर है? किधर छुपा के रखा है? Is it
So
behind you? Yeah.
I kept a couple of. So these are my old Hot Wheels which I've kept here.
Okay,
The
I'm
ones
going to
that
give you
survived.
show us and tell us
I'm going to
stories
show
about.
you.
Then I'm going to give
Yeah,
you the
yeah.
full screen.
I'm going to do the show and tell. I may not know stories about each individual one. A lot of these guys, I mean, I'll just keep showing a couple of them on the camera. I think I'm not sure if it's in focus. Okay, may not be in. I don't think this thing has autofocus. I'm not really sure, but there are a couple of pretty old models. I think you being the probably the biggest and veteran collector of all, would probably recognize these. Uh, so there are a couple of these. This guy, I love this. I just loved how this thing would go up and you would see inside it and have this bike at the back, the bike rack and stuff. Uh, these are all. This was. I regret. I feel like going back and slapping myself. I basically took a crayon and went at this thing. That's why you see the green streaks. And then probably the next day, I took something and tried to scrape off that green, but I wasn't really successful. So Datsun, I guess.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it's a
in
Datsun.
200 SX, man. You have synced and all. तेरे
Yes,
को
sir.
बहुत मार पड़ेगी. अब, I'm just looking at these old castings. The other VW camper,
Yep.
amazing stuff and all, man. तू
Uh,
क्या कर रहा है?
Here's another. These are all full metal. I mean, they Hot Wheels talk so much about metal, and we go crazy about that now. And this is what their regular vehicles used to be. It's they want rubber tires, but again, I didn't know anything about Hot Wheels Premium. I didn't know anything about that for a long time. I would consider myself not exactly a veteran, but uh, a pretty new collector, even though I've had these for a long time, because back then I was a kid. The whole Hot Wheels craze sort of died off in the middle. It came back as a result of me getting back into cars, which was like because of Top Gear
Wow.
and the Pontiac, I guess. Yeah, Firebird.
Yeah, it's the Firebird. It's the 80
Yeah,
Firebird. So how come you didn't? I mean, you have still a lot of these cars with you. They weren't
yeah.
given away to cousins or
Oh
anybody
no,
else
never, never.
and not
I would kill if
trashed.
that happened. No
Oh,
way.
I see.
Never. I would not give away toys. I was a selfish little prick back then. So show you some pictures
Bleep.
which I've got with me, where it's like I must have been what 2 or 3 years old, and there's this birthday party going on. I think I'll
Right.
try to share my screen.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
a second.
please.
I have them open here. I specifically collected this one. Just a sec. Let me see if I can share screen. Okay, application window. Which application? Just a second. Open. I think I can share this. Yes, I can.
You should be able to share.
Can you see?
Yes, it's there. There we go.
So this is me. Look at the greedy little guy, just look staring at the present and nothing else, not even a thank you and nothing else, just grabbing this present from the
For
kid who's
sure.
coming at my birthday.
This
And
was caught in the
then,
moment.
oh yeah, absolutely. Then this is me again, not caring about all these people who've been so polite and nice to come to my birthday, and just opening up the presents there and then playing with them in front of all these guys. You can
My
imagine
God.
what a punk I must have been back then. I mean, I look at these now and say, my God, man, look at
No,
him
this is the
playing with this.
reason.
And this
This is exactly the reason why we have birthday parties. You think it's to entertain people? No, man. It's to
absolutely.
get gifts. It's to
It's to
get
get
gifts.
presents. And
Or kya?
I used to love going to I don't know if you remember this. Leo used to be a big deal back then. Leo, it
For
used to be
sure.
Leo Mattel.
Right.
So this was, they used to have that specific range of toys. This is probably pre FDI, I guess. So we had all these
Right.
very select few things which used to come into the country. And this was
Yeah.
one engine which used to have these little balls which used to go up and down over here
Right.
as and moved forward. Then there were these trucks which had come in, which were those Tata Mercedes trucks, I think.
Those
They
are
used
highly
to
collectible now. A lot of people are asking
really.
for them. Yeah.
Oh, they would have the same cabin but different backs, like a
Right.
tanker and a lorry and tipper and all kinds of things like that. So then there was the common, that Sonic BMW, the one which you would click, 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 and it would reverse.
Yes.
I think it was a M M1. I don't remember. So there's that stuff, and then this is a pretty banged up chassis of a Porsche with literally nothing there. So
Wow.
so I mean, there was I don't regretfully I don't have any pictures of the Hot Wheels back then, but I have them all. I mean, whatever survived through the postings and the you know them getting busted up and on all that, I've got those lying with me, the few of the survivors from back in the day, the
So
good
how
old
come
days.
how is it that when you went and bought all of this stuff, did you like their shape? I mean, is there a story associated with the ones, because these are
uh
all highly desirable stuff that you have, especially the made in India ones, which are like, you know,
yeah.
uh, total time capsules, and all. One has to look at, oh yeah, I used to have something like that. And when people go like that, that just makes these things ultra desirable even more
Absolutely.
than
So
what it is.
yeah, these were, I mean, back when these existed, I mean, I can't really take credit for choosing any of them because I was too small for that. It was my
Right.
parents. I mean, God bless them. They would just go to the store and say, and dad was a freak. I mean, he was a toy freak, car freak back then, and he
There
would
you
say,
go.
this one's great. And let's just pick this one up and stuff. Like that. I was just a stupid little kid who would like, take it and play greedily, and nothing
But you
else.
took
So
care of them, no? Play greedily is great and all, but you still took care of them. They're in good
yeah,
nick,
sort
and
of.
yeah, man.
uh, There are a couple of
Wow.
them which I really loved. I don't know why. I think maybe my love for American Muscle dates back to that, and this is one of them. I just
Okay.
love this vehicle. I mean, I what is it? This is
That's
there's no name. I hate it when they do that. It's probably scrubbed off or something. Can't really
I know
make
what
out,
it
but I just
is.
love the paint job. I love the decals, the livery. I just loved
Yeah,
it. It's got one wheel missing. I think makes it cooler that way.
makes it very, very cool, man.
So I loved a few vehicles which I chose. This was one of my dad's selections. I never liked it. The hot rod, one of the famous hot
Okay.
rods of Hot Wheels,
Yeah, this is
the
the odd rod.
transparent. Yeah, odd rod. Yes, it's got
Yes.
one wheel missing again. Oops, it's falling off. So this was not one of my favorites. I wasn't really. I never liked the concept of hot rods. Then
This,
now I love them.
yeah, I think it was a very popular casting back then, and all. A lot of
Yes,
the kids we know had these and all. Yeah.
correct. So
Oh,
it. I
nice.
mean, these weren't so much of my choice. My choice started coming into play when I got back into Hot Wheels, and that
Okay.
was many years later. It was
Which
again
which year
after,
was this?
I can't remember the year. It was again once when Top Gear came in, my whole car thing started back, and it was in that story about the video about the back to life, coming back to life of Hot Wheels, and
Right.
in that it was that I was in one of these stores. and I saw the, just on the, it was one of the small stores, toy stores, who have stationery and toys and all, and there were just two Hot Wheels hanging on the pegs, and one was this, I think it was there were two muscle cars. I can't remember what was the make, but one was a beautiful green and the other was a yellow, and I was just
Right,
looking at those two, and I still wasn't earning yet. And I was like, man, if I want to just select all these single painted without the stupid Hot Wheels logo on it, but so that it
right.
looks real, and
Stupid Hot Wheels
just,
logo.
no,
Hmm.
really, I love Hot Wheels, but I just hate it when they put their logo on the car. It takes
For
away from the
sure.
realism of the vehicle somehow, for me.
Uh, Right.
So, and I've always been more towards buying their realistic vehicles rather
But
than their very
hang
imaginary
on, hang
ones.
on. वो तो ठीक है. But then now the art you've shown us and all is all concept art.
Is
It's all
crazy, is
this
concept. So
biotech kind of a thing. You've got legs growing out of old classic looking
Ford
cars, and then you
Broncos.
say, I don't like fantasy. I like them to be real. थोड़ा कुछ मुझे
It's
समझ नहीं आ रहा. The disconnect है उधर. How?
it
I mean,
the disconnect is because I'm already surrounded because of what I do with so much of this crazy imaginary stuff, and I love cars. I obviously can't own so many of them. I wish I can have a Jay Leno style garage later on in the future sometime, but
there you
obviously
go. Who
no.
knows?
Who
Maybe your
knows?
ship will be flying high.
I'm not smoking.
Okay. Yes. Yes, it's a
But
green future. It's a green
I,
future.
I
We
think I
need to
think
get
you know
these.
what, Vinith, you've put the nail on the head. The problems with the name. I think if I make it flying ship or something, it might just work out better for me
For
rather
sure.
than smoke ship. So anyway, so the thing is that I'm surrounded by this stuff and I love cars. So this is a very weird, I mean, it's a very strange way of me trying to collect these vehicles without being
Hmm.
owning the real thing, being able to own the real
Right.
thing. And the reason why I would go to for 1 is to 64 and not larger 1 is to 18 scale models is practically because there's just something about that tiny little size of the vehicle in which they pump in that many details. That's
Right.
really fascinating. I don't know why. It's just really fascinating. It's of course practically you can store them and everything much easier, but having a small little car like that with so many little details, especially when you look at stuff like Auto World and Greenlight and Tomica and all, it's just amazing. And speaking of all those brands, I never was aware of all these before.
Right.
um, I just, as I was saying, I saw these Hot Wheels and I slowly started collecting them. And that hobby just, it's like a drug. It's like every time you go to that toy store, then you're
You're
looking for the
just
Hot Wheels. It's
curious.
like,
Yeah,
आपके
you're
पास
looking.
होगा, the भैया आपके पास वो Hot Wheels पड़े हैं? हाँ sir, and they one day, आपने, I was asked this, आपने छोटे भाई के लिए लेने? I was
No.
नहीं यार, I'm buying them for myself. अच्छा, that they look at you, be very skeptical about it and stuff.
Yeah,
We were,
that's a surprising thing, that we've been trying to change the narrative for the longest time
yeah,
and all, and that's why I think everybody needs to know that grown adults, serious
absolutely,
collectors, and the hobby is serious. In fact,
absolutely,
needs to be looked after and appreciated, especially when we go in, get better stock and all every time we go. And I think all of us face the same problem. नया माल नहीं आया, पुराना पड़ा
hmm.
हुआ है, sort of the
Hmm.
distribution thing. We're forced to buy
Yeah,
from here, there, everywhere, and a couple of other people. So yeah, that's one of the major pain points of collecting Hot Wheels. And actually, the pain also adds to the fun. You're inclined to go. Say, यार इस दुकान पे नहीं मिला, let's go to the other shop, or
yeah,
let's go to the other shop.
absolutely,
And you end up finding something that you never thought of. कि ये नहीं
yes.
चाहिए था, लेकिन अच्छा ठीक है, I'm not getting that, so might as well pick this up or whatever. I don't know. It's working. They force us to buy
It's
more by not even
it
getting it
it
there on
is
time.
the
Nahin, so
thrill of,
yeah,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. You were saying the thrill of exactly what I wanted to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the thrill of going and finding these is literally like a treasure hunt, going and finding these little Hot Wheels and
right,
finding a unique little one in a shop where you least expected it.
for
Going to a
sure.
big Hamleys or a Toys R Us, fine, you're going to find something
That
there,
place
but
is
going to a
probably raided. No,
yes,
everybody's already been there and all. It's
everyone's
like
been
about
there.
that shop in the corner. कोई नहीं जाता वहाँ
Yes,
पे stock आता
exactly.
है कभी कभार.
Absolutely. And that guy also doesn't know what to do with them because no one comes and
Right,
buys them. So,
right,
it's like the kids don't know, and the premium variants aren't going to be bought for the kids. So, and they're
right,
also wondering, कि Hot Wheels itna महंगा कैसे हो गया and stuff like that. So, all that again, like going back and collecting stuff and just going back again and again to stores and collecting. that slowly was getting my hobby back, but
Okay.
it still didn't have the fuel pumping. It still wasn't at that level because of, I mean, the place where we are, like mostly I don't know whether it's all of India, but north of India specifically, a lot of these things are taken as, bachchu ki cheez hai. It's a I had no idea about anyone in my locality or in my city who would have this kind of a hobby. And
Right.
it when you know nobody else and you're on that island, you start wondering, am I doing the right thing?
नहीं तो फिर
Am
how did
I
you manage to collect all of this stuff? आपके आसपास कोई
so
influence नहीं था,
that
none of your friends would be there, तो आप कहाँ
this
से? हाँ,
this stuff, what you see around me, I mean, apart from the hot wheels is because of you guys, but
right,
this stuff is a sort of it's because of that, that there was nobody to speak to about this, and no people with similar hobbies that wanted to create this little tiny little world, you can say, around me, which could act as this self-sustaining engine of imagination that can
right,
help me and inspire me whenever I walk into it and whenever I'm working.
right,
So that was the whole purpose of the studio, and that's how it came to be. It's like collecting one piece and another little thing, because it didn't exist anywhere else, at
right,
least in my city. Now, of
right.
course, I have a small band of friends and all, and we run our YouTube channel and all that, and we, of course, together have a pretty big geek collection and stuff. So that's that. And in terms of Hot Wheels, just I think it was 1 or 2 days before Comic Con, I was at one of these toy shops, and I was
Right.
collecting. I was looking, thumbing through all these the pegs, the Hot Wheels on the pegs, and there was this guy next to me. He's like, "Yeah, यहाँ पे कुछ ज़्यादा है नहीं, मैंने check किया हुआ है." I just froze. I was like, wait, the voice sounded like a grown man. Who the hell is talking about Hot Wheels in this city? So I like turned slowly, and there's this guy, grown, pretty beefy guy, looking at me. He's like, "Yeah, kuch." I said, "What?" I'm looking at Hot Wheels. I was just trying to confirm कि भाई मैं ना कपड़े नहीं ढूंढ रहा, मैं Hot Wheels ढूंढ रहा हूँ. I'm
Right.
probably in a chooth, so stay away. So he's like, "नहीं नहीं, I know, I also collect." I almost fainted.
Wow.
So I was like, "What?" Yeah, yeah, I'm a collector. I have a Facebook group and stuff. And it turns out his group was, I think, ours is Hot Wheels Collectors of India, right?
No, Hot Wheels Collectors India, yeah.
India. So his was off India. And he
Right,
was
right.
like, I said, wow, really? There are others like me. So, that kind of thing. He's, yeah, yeah, you can join and all. So the day after that, again, we drove down to Comic Con and we were busy vlogging and stuff like that in the whole place. And then I see this huge, Hot Wheels insignia with the Contessa over there with the flame
Yeah,
painting, and, this
yeah.
really cool guy with these chops and this cool t-shirt, really enthusiastically talking about Hot Wheels. And I come up to this guy and I was like, "Excuse me, are you in charge over here?" I said, "Yeah, I am." He was really cool and chill. I was like, I asked him, I'm sorry, so what's your name? He's like, "I'm Vineet." I was like, "Oh, okay." And, then I start vlogging and asking, you and there were a couple of others over there
Yeah, Gaurav was there
about
and
the
Manish was
Gaurav
there.
and yes, correct. And they were showing me this wall of Hot Wheels and all the premiums, and I had not known that these things existed till then. I just knew there's Hot
Yeah.
Wheels and it comes in these few
You were in your
variants.
shell, my friend. You were just happy in your own
Yeah,
world, pretending that यहाँ कोई नहीं है, आप
absolutely.
top boss है और कोई नहीं ऐसा था यार. मेरे पास बचपन की गाड़ी है, ठीक है ना? ये वाली गाड़ी भी है. चक्का किसी का बहुत रेयर है, पता है ना? इस तरीके का. Yeah,
Absolutely, man.
yeah. As long as you stay in
So
your shell around, you need to get out and figure
you
out
need to
कि
get
यार
out.
there is नहीं वही है ना. I
Absolutely.
mean, I think that was what the endeavor was, and it was a great, chance meeting with your vlogging thing. So this whole thing again is your vlogging thing. What do you vlog about? Hot Wheels?
Okay, so
No, yeah,
no, basically not vlogging necessary. We have we have a channel called Mixed Up. So it's
right,
Mixed Up Vids. It's a channel on YouTube. It's Vids with
right,
a Z, and
right,
we deal with pop culture, geek culture, gaming, of course. And very similar, it's almost the same as what your goal is with Hot Wheels, of trying to tell
right,
people that this is a serious hobby. There is
right.
actual work, inspiration, and heart that goes into building, designing these, and into collecting these. And there is a reason why they exist and stuff like that, and it's a serious thing. So that's exactly what we are trying to do with graphic novels and geek culture,
Do you
gaming,
have some
and stuff like that.
pictures or your stuff that you talk about on this? किस तरह का content
Well,
चलाते
it's
हो
our
आप?
it's our full channel. I can let me just go into screen share again. I guess just let me.
Yeah.
I'll just probably open up YouTube. Just give me a second. It's so when we came to Comic Con, we were just trying to, we were trying to just cover the whole thing and something like this, which is so unique to India. And
Right.
just a second, I'll just share my screen. Can application window. There we go. Can you see?
Yeah. It's there. It's up
Okay.
there.
So we basically again cover gaming and stuff like that, and we have discussion videos. We talk about behind the scenes. We talk about studios, game studios, animation studios, and all the technicalities that go into them. The culture, work culture, which is not covered in India. There's just basically bhai PUBG khel rahe hain and stuff like that. And we wanted to build this narrative that we don't even like calling it gaming. It's gone beyond that. It's electronic or immersive entertainment, and it's an art form by itself. Just like you have novels, you have movies, you have music, you now have electronic entertainment. And this series of videos, I'll just probably play this the trailer in the background. I guess that would just help establish. Just a second, please. Let me see. There we go. uh, yeah, so this, I'll just mute this in case sound doesn't start coming through. So that's basically, it's we talk about graphic novels, comics, Japanese manga, anime, animation, western, and European, American, European. We're trying to show, just like you are, and just like the feeling that I got when I met you guys, that there are these established people in society, these mature smart individuals in society who know about this, who have a depth of knowledge about Hot Wheels, about 1 is to 64, about diecast, and they really can take this hobby to the next level. And I can personally testify to this because I wasn't into all these things before. I mean, I wasn't into so deeply into Hot Wheels before than I was when I after I till after I met you guys. And that's when I started seeing, that whoa, the premium does exist. Hot Wheel premium is there, and there's this and there's that, and there is so much more. The ceiling is so much higher than what is there. And basically, it comes down to that it's okay for me to spend money on this stuff. It doesn't feel odd. It doesn't feel wrong. It's perfectly fine because these guys have collections which are so much more bigger than me, and it gives you that sense of security that there are others like me for this. So that's a very similar thing that we were
Yeah,
trying to
you're
do
not
with.
alone, man. Yeah, for sure. So that is the kind of stuff that you're trying to emulate with this by telling people the kind of games that they're playing and all these others out there. And so you review games and you review all this pop
we
culture stuff.
Yes,
You help them
we
get
exactly.
it also. Do you have like a store where you're selling the
No,
stuff or
we
no?
we never went into anything like that. We basically just do reviews, impressions. We do, long form talks about events, about things like the Electronic Entertainment Tech Expo, and
Right.
brands like Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo and so many other things. Comic books, what inspired something to happen, what inspired that art form to develop. And we have a very, sort of a fixed, just a second, I'll just show you here. A way of where we present.
Right. Let's pull that up and let's see you presenting and
Yes,
doing
it
your thing in your
is.
so professional setup.
So we basically, this is our way of our, how we present, and we basically just sit the two guys talking. We bring in videos and stuff. It's We try and keep it analytical, try and keep it funny, as light-hearted as possible, yet try and keep it informative for someone
Fabulous. So
that they
you're
can
like a
leave with something more.
YouTuber and everything, and you create all these videos. So you do your own scripts, your own content
Yes,
setup,
absolutely.
your everything you do
So
yourself.
yeah, we do our own. I mean, we built our own. I mean, you can call it a set piece or a background or whatever, and
Right.
collected, slow and steady equipment, which isn't exactly top shelf, but I guess it's how you use it, but not the tech you have.
For sure.
So it was that kind of stuff, bolted it together, and we've just been trying to push it. It's a hobby. It's our passion. It's not what we earn from necessarily. It's that we have our own careers separately from that. But
So
it's
what is your
something
day
we.
job that makes you money? ये तो आपका हॉबी हो गया, ठीक है, इसमें भी आप लगा ही रहे हो. After all, at the end of the day, time is money,
Yes,
and you would like to see it right up there, and you would like to have
absolutely.
a million plus subs, man. You know, everybody wants a million plus subs. जरा तो वो ad
Everyone
आता है
wants,
बड़ा वाला.
or at
तो
least
अच्छा सा
100K would be pretty big as well.
यार तुम मिलियन सोचना तब 100K की बात करेंगे, पहले
नहीं,
तो
सही
मिलियन
बात
से
है,
शुरू करो आप.
वो तो है.
So, you said you have a job. What is that job? Is it exactly what you do with respect to your digital art? क्योंकि आप काम भी करते हैं, ये चैनल भी चलाते हैं, यूट्यूबर भी हैं, शॉपिंग भी जाते हैं, और और you have a professional job also. What does that involve? What do you do there?
So, excuse me. My job or my hobby oblique career is what I said earlier. I'm a digital artist, concept designer,
Right.
graphic novel artist, and an illustrator. So they all come under a very broad spectrum, which is digital art, which deals with all these things. And
Okay.
my
So
work day, yeah, sorry.
you work for a gaming company, or you work for an art
I
company, or
I
are you
work
your own boss?
I work with multiple companies, so
Okay.
sort of like a freelancer.
Right.
It's like between being having a company and being a freelancer. It's sort of a middle ground. I sit in my studio. I work from here. I work remotely. Right now, of course, there's no way to travel in any case. But I
Right.
work with studios like Sony Computer Entertainment, Microsoft, and I worked with these what's it called, large esports companies, which basically promote pro gaming and stuff like GG Circuit, Super League Gaming, and Razer, NZXT, and stuff like that. So that's those are a few of my clients. These are the people among many. These are the companies that I work with, and it's not a 9 to 5 necessarily, a 9 to 5 job as in where I'm stuck to one company. I have multiple
Right.
clients which I work with. But yes, I mean, there is always this dilemma people have, like, I'm my own boss, I'm free, I'm not going to do a 9 to 5. At the end of the day, you notice it's like a Venn diagram, those two paths sort of merge if you want them to be want to be successful. So
Right.
you can't be the guy, the loose cannon and the maverick, and say that, look man, this is who I am, I'm not going to do it this way, I'm going to do it this way. You've got to work to some extent, within constraints and with a certain discipline, if you want to actually succeed. So you've got to be in your studio, you've got to put in that many hours. Yes, if you're working on your own, those hours can be flexible. I mean, you can put in a total of, say, if you're putting 10 hours or 11 or whatever, but and it doesn't have to be from this to this. You can step out, take a bathroom break or whatever whenever you like. But you've got to
But
put in the time. You've got to hustle.
right. तो अपना टाइम टेबल तो बनाना ही पड़ेगा, whether you work for yourself or whether you work for somebody else, because
Absolutely.
the clients want, and I believe
Yep.
sometimes since you have many various clients and you're handling them all on, by yourself, and
Yeah.
you're a one man army. So I'm sure you're very good at multitasking also. इसका भी काम इधर चल रहा है, इसका भी इधर चल रहा है,
Now
ये
that
भी हो
I
रहा है.
am.
Are you
I work.
ambidextrous? दोनों हाथ चलते हैं आपके?
No,
वो भी
I'm
वो भी talent है?
regretfully I'm not ambidextrous, but I do a lot of multitasking. I That
Right.
is actually for me, multitasking is something I want to get away from so that I can try and focus better. It's, I have 3 or 4 screens in front of me right now which I work on, uh,
Fabulous.
for
And you
various
say you want to
things.
get away from multitasking.
It's
I think
I've
start
noticed.
losing those screens first, ना पहले ठीक है करके
Yes, I
हटाओ
guess so.
उसको.
I can't do that because I love gadgets so much. I love tech and gadgets so much. If nothing else, even if I start just focusing on one thing, I'll just love having those things there. And being in a studio, working from home, or not necessarily from home, but remotely, can be a slightly lonely. Not lonely, but you're not exactly having many human connections. You're not speak.
Right.
I'm not such a extrovert in any case, but to some extent, having some conversation with people, I mean, helps your psyche. So just having my multiple monitors and having some videos playing in the backdrop, it helps the energy going. I love just popping on my headphones when I'm working. I'll put on some long form video on YouTube or play some good music and stuff, and just keep working, and then you don't know where the hours go. It
तो फिर
helps you.
अब शादी हुई है कि नहीं हुई है? शादी
No, I'm
करने
not
का
married.
विचार? I don't think
Nah,
at
I
this
don't
rate
know,
and all,
man.
the 10, 11
Even
hours
I
in
don't
every
think
day.
so. Even I don't think so, and I'm happy. I mean, I'm not going to give up something like this, man. I mean, really, really have to be someone like Emma Watson or something. For a guy like me, that's a stupid sort of a ambition to have, and obviously that doesn't make any sense. But then I guess that's why I am where I am, and I'm happy.
No, very cool. And so happy
It's
you shall stay in your man cave, which is endowed with all kinds of collectibles. And it's a great thing that you live to tell the tales also of these things. You've taken your hobby of not only collecting them but also educating the other collectors as to what it is that is special about them, inspiring them with your artwork. Do you give tutorials and stuff like that on your digital art? या कैसे करना है
no,
या
not yet. I haven't considered myself to
why
be
not? I mean,
at that level.
because that kind of that artwork is insane, Baba. Like you
uh,
yourself said that you're a self-taught person. आपने और internet influences से सीखा है, and आपका आर्ट तो शानदार है. I think it's only fair that you pass on the knowledge and pass on the baton, and अब ये भी करते रहो, उधर भी डालते रहो, है ना? क्या प्रॉब्लम है? हम लोग भी
I
सीख जाएंगे यार.
actually I initially started off having a couple of YouTube videos and stuff on my own channel, Smokedship,
Right.
and they weren't necessarily instructional. They would just be sped up, maybe 10x sped up videos of me working and putting up stuff. But then again,
That's like a show off post and all. If you tell people, no, select this brush, then do this, yeah, aise karo, this is how your thought
the
should
thing is,
be. Uh,
the issue is, I thought of doing that. The problem is that most of our videos, I mean, especially on YouTube, it auto geolocates them within the region. And if I have videos like that, they would span over hours and hours. And we as Indians seem to have, at least most of the janta seems to have a very short attention span. It's not to blame them. It's, I guess, it's because of the hustle bustle of our country and its nature.
you
So
find
I
the
doubt
time.
they would be.
No, no, no. You find the time to do it. There's others who are dying to figure out the way to do it,
I don't know.
and you have that knowledge, and you never know what hits, Probably they're
Maybe,
just, oh,
I
yeah.
mean, in my profession, I don't think this would be considered all that top notch. I mean, it's okay. It's maybe above average, but
For
I
sure,
don't think
all
it's.
racing drivers like to drive fast, and they think life only begins after 200 and all. But over the rest of us and all, they'll have a heart attack the minute they cross 150. So you cannot you cannot say that. You, like you rightly said, you are in a different league altogether of kind of people who are doing it. Right in the beginning, you said, "Yeah, doctor banega, engineer banega." नहीं कुछ नहीं
Yes.
बनना है ना. I want to go and do something else. So for sure,
Yeah.
it's a niche.
Yeah.
It is a small society, but there are people out there, and you are connected online. Maybe not where you are. So that, I think, just adds to the mystique. And how did you do that? To get kuch bhi nahi hai, no big deal and all. So either you don't value yourself, or you think everybody else is just so dumb that they don't get it.
Oh, no, no. It's
Right?
not all that. I mean, ambitious, that I wouldn't think that others are dumb
There is
enough.
no sense of ambition, Baba.
It's
Everybody likes to sketch and all. Think now be lockdown time, hai, right?
Yeah,
Now,
that's there.
because of your art and because of the stuff that you've been able to do, and because of the talents that you've inculcated in yourself over a period of time, whether it's digital art or whether it's those sci-fi kind of stuff, vehicles, this, that, breaking down, aerodynamics. I mean, पता नहीं क्या खा के उठता है, क्या बनाता है, किस हिसाब से एकदम number one stuff and all that you've been doing. But
Thank you so much.
करना पड़ेगा यार. I mean, I think it's only time that you gave back what you took. Inspire more
Uh,
people and all. And ये
uh,
तो आप कर ही रहे
during
हो, vlogging and all. Yeah,
I mean, so during the lockdown, I mean, and all that, I've just been
right.
focusing on trying to better my skills and improve myself. So the thing is, even when I was trying to do these videos, it's like you were talking about, as you got to see where you allocate your time. So you can record, but it's the editing that takes up a large chunk of your time after that. I mean, even if you record, the editing would take 2 to 3x that time, and that
कट
time
टू
is
कट
what I
कर
can
देना,
use to.
खत्म कर. आजकल की इधर सब कुछ होता है कट टू कट, टक टक टक, भैया खत्म.
I
Actually,
mean,
it's
I
your
wish.
artwork. Yeah, तेरा artwork is ना inspiring and all. Just get rid of the bad cuts and cut करके निकाल दे.
I
Don't think
guess
of it.
so.
यही No, no, because I understand where you're coming from because you do all the vlogging and also when you
I do,
are
but that
editing like
also,
that,
that also takes up a lot of time.
that takes a lot of
Even
time.
with
And so, yeah,
yeah.
don't do it to that quality. Yeah, bas bata de kaise karna hai. Anyway, this is phenomenal. So now, your childhood influences have now dictated your professional career, and you're out there creating graphic novels and working with different artists and also खतरनाक काम है यार. So
Thank you so much.
it's been most inspiring to see. He's called the Smoke Ship. He was born with the name Giant Mal, but he likes to call himself Smoke Ship. Check him out on Instagram, on YouTube. His channel is called Mixed Up. Go check out if you're into gaming and all. Jayant is your man. They recreate some funny stuff. I've seen a couple of their videos, and also, yeah, it's very very entertaining. And I'll drop in a hi. Look him up, and thanks, Jan, for taking the time out and being with us and discussing your deepest innermost secrets and what inspired you to stay young forever, to stay a child, and actually have fun doing what you're doing. And yeah, a hobby is more than a hobby in your case.
Thank you
And
so much, Vineet. I mean, in my case, it's you guys who inspire me. It's the way you've taken your hobbies to the next level and literally moved large pieces together to get things like Hot Wheels Premium and so many other brands and upmarket stuff to mortals like us. From worked with Mattel and stuff like that.
Badya,
That is
badya.
really
Well,
that's
yeah, I
really
think,
amazing.
yeah, no, no, it was much needed and all, and the hobby deserved a shot in the arm. And I'm glad that, the people at Mattel, the good folks at Mattel, they took their time, did their numbers, and they listened to us. And as a result, the community is very happy, and we couldn't be
Yes.
happier simply because as the fraternity grows, we have more people doing interesting, insane stuff. Doing customs, chopping stuff up.
Yeah.
Starts from a wheel swap, and then they create these crazy Frankenstein
Absolutely.
creations that are absolutely insane. So it's great, as a hobby and all. It's just expanding and taking on different proportions and a totally different dimension altogether. That 3-4 years back, if somebody were to tell you, hey, 4 साल बाद ऐसा scene होएगा, especially collecting these diecast 1:64 scale and Hot Wheels in particular, uh, nobody would have believed you. That chance ही नहीं
Yeah.
होती है,
Absolutely not.
nothing. But it's great, and that just shows how hungry the people are for taking up this hobby, which is very very big abroad, and now it's getting very very popular here. And similarly, like the stuff that you do, it is a niche, but more and more people, I'm sure, after watching this episode, would be inspired and to figure out as to how you did it, and they'll be asking you the same questions. Don't worry, ping him, and if you all keep requesting him and all, he's bound to start making a couple of those videos. Anyway,
Definitely,
thanks a lot,
definitely.
Giant, aka Smoke Ship. Thank you for sailing with us and you know removing the smoke from a lot of the eyes and clearing things up with us. Well,
Thank you so
guys,
much,
this has
Vineet.
been fun. Yeah, man, thanks. So this has been fun, and hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you again next week on Let's Talk Again on Louvre. Till then, adios.